Hello there, my YouTube family. How are you? I am Helen Sally, your destiny helper, coming to you once again with a subject that I know that you will enjoy. I want you to know that I appreciate all of the emails that I'm getting from you, and I'm really appreciating that these videos are helping you to grow stronger and stronger. That is definitely my motive for doing this and wanting you to grow and to understand what you are dealing with. I want to talk to you today about technology, and one of the technology we have is texting, and texting is very viable in a lot of businesses. It's very viable in different and instrumental in different arenas of our lives. It is also a very instrumental aspect to the narcissist. And you notice that when you are being love bombed, the narcissist is texting you all the time, and if you text them back, they respond right away. And the love bombing is usually the first 3 months to 6 months, and you can expect a text, nothing stop them from responding, and you grow used to them texting. If you say something, they respond right away, whether they're in a business meeting or whether the only reason they don't, they're in a flight, and they'll tell you, I'll text you as soon as I land. And then they give little hearts, little emojis, letting you know that they are there for you. Nothing stops a narcissist from texting you when you're in the love bombing stage, and you notice they respond right away. And you notice your narcissist, when you're with them, they usually have more than one phone, and they're texting you sometime while the primary supply is right there, and the primary supply can be laying right there. They're texting you, letting you know that they care for you, letting you and encouraging you to keep texting them, and what you mean to them, and that you are their world, and that you're rocking their world. This is called conditioning. When the narcissist is conditioning you through a text, he is conditioning you to expectancy. And so when you're expecting them to text, you wake up in the morning, it may be 6 o'clock in the morning, boom, the narcissist texts you. You wake up to a text. All day long they're texting. You go to sleep to a text. They may even send you something at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, you're just expecting this, you're loving this, and this is called conditioning. When the narcissist is texting you through the love bombing, the narcissist is conditioning, getting you used to them, getting you used to the response, making you feel like you're the most valuable thing in the world to them, because you can't text them and they don't respond the first 3 months, the first 6 months, and sometimes it gradually, there's hardly ever, but usually out of all of the thousands cases I've dealt with, usually it can go to a year. That is very rare. And they usually, when it goes to a year, the narcissists have a specific plan, a special plan for that individual. And sometimes when you want to hook that primary supply and you want to marry them, and they don't marry for covenant, they don't even marry for love. They marry because there's an assignment that they want you to perform in their life by being the primary supply, being there. And so they are conditioning you, and they condition you with the text. They waking you up with a text. They're texting you all day, and I mean, it's like they're thinking of you. You don't think that they're controlling, knowing where you are. You don't think that initially. You're thinking all of these texts because they love me, all of these texts because they care for me, all of these texts because they're thinking about me, they're wild about me. So you are dismissing anything else that you see other than absolute caring. And this is the first week, and you can be with them for the first week and you feel like you in love, madly in love with them. And I mean, if they ask you to marry them the first week, your answer would be yes. Why? Because when you're with a narcissist, everything moves quick, nothing gradually moves. The way you feel, the way they capture you, the way they capture your emotion, the commitment you feel with them, the caring that you think they have toward you, and you think they really care for me. Nobody has ever loved me like this. Nobody has ever been attentive like this. Nobody has ever listened to me. And you are madly in love with the narcissist. And the narcissist tell you, I am so wild about you. You are the sunrise in my day, and you are the sunset of my heart. And when the moon come up, it reminds me of you, because it reminds me of your smooth skin, your radiant eyes. You are pulling me into your life, and I'm under a hypnotic spell with you. I've never felt like this. And all of this is in a text. They're texting this to you, and you reading this text, and it's like a story time to you, and you run away just to read what he's text, because he's very poetic, very prolific, very concise in what he said, precision. They're hitting your heart at the right way. This stasis of the love bombing, and they're using text, is called conditioning. Conditioning is when you are conditioned to a mold, and they are forming the mold, and they are pouring you into the mold. So you are conditioning yourself to the mold. You are shaping according to the mold your mind, your feelings. And so they're bringing a level of expectation to the mold, and you're rising up to the mold. Everything is about conditioning. It's like your hair. When you wash your hair and the shampoo strips it, but when you add condition to your hair, it puts all the moisture back in. It put all the nutrients back in. It make your hair easy to handle. And that's the way it is with the narcissist. He's getting you easy to handle. You can be the toughest woman. You can be the most masculine brute man. But by the time they finish conditioning you, you are softening down to their mold, because they're molding you like they need you to be. And so the first aspect of this is conditioning. And so they're texting you the condition. They're texting you the basis. You're responding to that conditioning. You are expecting that conditioning. You are just looking for that conditioning. And it's like a Christmas gift in June or May or February. You are just expecting it. And I mean, you are glowing. Your heart is big. And finally, what happened is they become the focus. We have some called FAT. Focus, energy, target. And so they are becoming your focus. Why? Because they need to build a pattern. And this pattern is a consistent mindset, a consistent thought. It's consistent emotion. It's consistent movement. It's consistent expectation. So once they condition you, they're bringing you into a pattern. And you know, anything you do in a pattern, it starts to be a habit. And once you do get a habit, that habit turns into a lifestyle. And so that lifestyle, you start characterizing as you. This is me. This is who I am. This is what I do. And that's what the narcissists do with the text. So what they do is, once they're texting you all day. They're texting you at night. You get up with a text. You go to bed with a text. You're going throughout the day. You're smiling. Your heart feel like it is leaping. And during the text, he may say, I'm going to run over and just see you. I only have 5 minutes, but I want to see you. And boom, the narcissist, whatever they tell you to do, that they're going to do in this love bombing stage, they are conditioning you, and they make it a pattern where you believe them. So they run over 5 minutes, give you a hug, bring you a rose, kiss you, and they're gone. They're out. And so the narcissist really, and a lot of times, even with the sexuality, they're very slow to maneuver, because everything is specific, time specific. The only reason it isn't is you're with a lower narcissist. The lower narcissist is learning who they are. They just know how things feel, that it make them feel good. I mean, they can meet you an hour and they're ready after an hour. But as the narcissists grow, like the upper, mid, and greater narcissist, which is the master narcissist, they take time with you. They don't just go to bed with you. They go to bed with your emotions. They go to bed with your mind. The physical part is usually later, and that's also a cerebral. Cerebral, like that somatic, they don't take so long. And the Lord, they don't take so long. But the cerebral is like that. Now, the malignant could be somatic or cerebral. So when they get you, they want to make sure you are cultured and cultivated. They irrigate every dry place. They cultivate everything that needs to grow. So this is called patterning. When they pattern you, they are patterning you into consistency. And then when they do that, they get you conditioned, then they get you patterned. And then once they pattern you, they adjust you. They take you out of your mode of operation. They're eliminating your mode of existence altogether. They want to destroy what you were molded in, and they want to bring in a new mold. And so now you are conditioned, you're patterned, and you're adjusting. You start adjusting your time to according to the time they text. I'm going to text you at 2 o'clock. Boom. You're right where you're supposed to be. Even if you have to run down the steps and run around the building and just be there for that text. And then that till you tell your boss that was a bathroom break. So you go back in after that 2 o'clock. But when they tell you they're going to do something, you are there to make sure you are there in that time. And when you're not, you are very explanatory of why you couldn't make it. But when you're being loved by them, if you notice, the narcissist don't take no for an answer. The narcissist says 1 o'clock, he wants you there at 1. She wants you there at 1 because you're being conditioned, you're being patterned, and you are being adjusted. And when you're being adjusted, you got to adjust into the mold. So all the loose areas that comes in the pattern, they're tightening up those areas. They're making sure that conditioning is working. So you go into the adjustment phase. You eliminate your time. You eliminate your mindset. You eliminate your schedule. You are taking the narcissist schedule, and whatever their schedule is, that's now your time. So you are building your life around their world, and that is your adjustment phase. And then after that, it took a lot of work to get you to adjust. Now it's disappointment, misappointments. So the narcissist said, I'll be there at 5. He's not there. He shows up at 7. So he gradually pulls himself out of the consistent mode. He texts you at 8 o'clock, but you don't get another text to 5 o'clock. And you're texting between that. And so when you are texting the narcissist and he's not making the time, he's not making the time he used to. And this is with no explanation. He didn't say that you did anything wrong. So you're wondering, what did I do wrong? What did I do different? And when you go through the corridors of your mind, you can't find anything that you did different. And everything they said they liked, you gave them. And so the narcissist just boom, they just shift. I mean, 1 minute they here, and they can shift in the same day. You can have lunch, and then they call you at 1. At 1 o'clock, they totally shifted. That's disappointment. Disappointment is misappointment. They're going to start missing appointment. Now the texting is not so plenteous. Now the words, I mean, it was just like a poetic book. They would write you books. Now they don't write you books. They may say a few sentences, and then the few sentences is without deep emotion. They just talking. You know, I'm glad today is a sunny day. I will talk to you a little bit later. Or, sorry I couldn't meet you, but I had a business meeting. Or, you know, I'm sorry I didn't text you, because they're gradually coming out. So they're just not going to drop that bomb, but they're not explaining why they're gradually coming out. And so now you are getting into misappointment, because it's disappointment. And then now the disappointment gonna lead to devaluation, and the devaluation is when they start finding things wrong. You know, why you keep texting me? You said, because I'm so used to you texting you. Well, don't be texting me on the job. I'm getting in trouble on my job. And you said, but you used to text me all the time. That was then, but I just told you I'm getting in trouble on my job. So now there's explanations of why you should not do what you used to do that work. And they're telling you it doesn't work. And you're like, why didn't it work? Did I do something? Did I say something? Did I not bring something? Did you want something from me? They're like, I don't want nothing from you. I don't want. And once a narcissist devalue you, you are going through the devaluation. They don't start a devaluation and stop. Hardly ever. Even if they receive something from you, they will receive at that moment, boom, and continue the devaluation, because there's a reason they devalue you. And you done got into consistency, and what used to turn them on because to make it feel like a king, now it bugs them. Why? Because there's new supply. You're being triangulated. And so when you're being triangulated, the new supply is getting all that energy. And it takes a lot of energy to hook a new supply and to deal with you, but to maintain you until they hook that supply. So you go into devaluation. Then you're responding to the devaluation. You are almost scared. You are wondering what happened. So you're becoming a little bit fussy because you want to spend time with the narcissist. You're making a demand that he spend time with you. So now he goes to character dismissal. Now, what are you doing? You know, you said, what do you mean what I'm doing? Because we mean something. Who told you you mean that to me? You know, the way you've been acting, I may not mean nothing to you. You know, because now you're making me want to step. You're making me want to move. Okay, this character dismissal is he's slowly draining you and he's dismissing your character, and we call this the leaky phase. The leaky phase is it's when you start phasing out and you're being dismissed, and now it causes confusion because you had the strength of him right here. You already going through misappointment. Now you're going through devaluation. Now there's a character dismissal, and a lot of times there may be a smear campaign where he's telling the new supply, they're bugging me, they're obsessed with me because you're texting all the time trying to figure out where he is. You're trying to get what you had and you can't get it, and so they're noticing that the phone bing 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 is binging because you were texting trying to say, hey baby, where you at, or can you give me a call, you know, just thinking about you, I love you, and they're trying to say everything they can to get your interest, but the character dismissing or the smear campaign won't let them, and they're saying, oh, you obsessed. This person is obsessed with me. I'm trying to get away from them. And now this person now is against you because they feel like, well, why are they doing that? Why don't they go on with their life? Because now this person is getting interested in the narcissist, and this person wants the narcissist. So now the competitiveness to move you out so they can move in. And when the narcissist pick this up, now the narcissist want to ignore you. Ignoring is the confidence killer. It's when that everything that was strong about you needs to be overthrown because the narcissist now may be trying to make you a primary source. He is triangulating that, but you're going to be the primary source. You took a little longer. He went a little bit deeper, and then he wants you there because you gave more fuel, and the way you gave it, he loved the way you gave. You was copious in your giving, but his attention span grew tired because you kept coming after him. And what happened? You are madly in love with the narcissist, and he's not reciprocating, and you're trying to figure out what you did. Honey, you didn't do nothing. You are with the narcissist. Everything he does is temporary. The new supply, the primary supply can last, but that doesn't delete you from all of the triangulation. That doesn't delete you from the devaluation, the word salad, gaslighting. As a matter of fact, the primary supply suffer the most because they have the narcissist the most. So when the narcissist text you, they're texting you things about your character, and you used to read it like a poetic book, and now you're dismissing because it's like stab wounds to the heart, and it's like somebody just stabbing you, and you are on edge because you don't want to lose that relationship. You don't want that relationship to go. And so now you're going through that confidence killer, which is the ignoring. Now you go through a discard. The narcissist say, I done told you, you always trying to put your locks on me. Every time I turn around, you are following me. You're trying to hem me in. I am free and I want to be free. We're not married yet. I still got a right to my life. And you're thinking you got a right to your life. You took my life and put my life on the schedule and I let you. And the narcissists don't want to hear any of this. So now you don't went through a temporary discard. But what has happened, all of this is setting you up for the Hoover. Because usually by this time that the narcissist gonna hook that supply start going through a devaluation. It's not what he thought. It didn't give what he thought. It didn't render to him what he needed to render. And so he started devaluating that. Well, guess what he do? He's coming back to you. So he set you up for a Hoover. So the conditioning set you up for a pattern, which was a lifestyle. And that going on down the line because he needs you to get a habit. Anytime you get a habit and you continue that habit becomes a cycle. And when that habit becomes a cycle, then that cycle becomes a system. And the system is your lifestyle. Everything is systematic, it's systemic. And that's what the narcissist is looking for. He's looking for systemic behavior, systemic mindset. Even if it's against you, he don't give you a chance to reprieve. He don't give you a chance to re-energized, and bam, it's right there. Well, now you are in for a Hoover. So you are so desperate for the narcissist. He conditioned you for the Hoover. He patterned you for the Hoover. He gave you adjustments for the Hoover. He disappointed you because he broke all appointments and nothing was on schedule again. And then he devaluated you so he can bring you down to the lowest denominator. So now he can get you easier. And then a character dismissal, which is causing confusion to you. You don't know who you are. And then he ignored you. And now you are finding fault within. It's a fault finder, but you are faulting you because you're trying to figure out what you did. Then you got a discard. So now you got a broken heart. And from that brokenness, you are so desperate. So when he come back for a Hoover, you're right on. And the narcissist, the whole time he's devaluating you. When he start texting you, it goes back up to the conditioning. Now you may have the golden love bomb now, but now it's bronze. He don't give you everything he gave you at first, but he give you enough because you're hungry. You don't need all that. Why? You're already starving. You're already hungry. You already want the narcissist. You'll do anything at any point to get the narcissist. Why? Because all you want is closure. You want understanding. What did I do? That never happened. Even in the re-engagement, even in him coming back, you never get what happened. There was never closure. And when you open it up, the narcissist make you seem like you're wrong. And if you keep on, you call narcissistic injury. Guess what happens? He goes out to hunt again. And some narcissists got so many supply realms and different levels of supply, different functions of supply. All supply are not sexual objects. There some supply may be business or family, so all of it is not sexual, but triangulation can be with business, car, anything. It means to bring a threesome in, and all threesome are not sexual, but it is disappointment is moving you from an appointed place to another place that has no value for you, that has no structure for you, that has no strength for you. And you notice everything in a text. You don't went from texting all day, texting to the midnight, to texting every now and then, and to texting every 3 days until they don't respond to a text. You are texting them, they don't respond, and they got this element now where you can text, and when they open it, you can tell, and they'll send you a notification. This person has opened the text, and so they got a notification that you opened the text. You got a notification that they opened the text, and they still do not call. And then when they come back from the Hoover, they tell you, "Yo, baby, I was out of my mind. I don't know what was wrong with me. I think I was scared because I was falling in love with you, and I ain't never felt like that." And there you go, going through the cycle all over again. And the texts are coming, and they're coming all day. And then one day, the cycle starts. They start coming later, every 2 days, every 3 days, once a week, once every 2 weeks. And then the discard. All of that sets you back up. And you got to remember, number one, you are being conditioned. Number two, you're set up in a pattern. Number three, there has adjustment phase. Number four, you're going to go to disappointment. That means your schedule is going to be towed up. So whatever arrangements you had on a permanent, solidified basis has been interrupted. And now you are off schedule. And then you go to devaluation, and devaluation is when they start tearing down whatever you do. It doesn't make any difference what you do. Nothing is never right. Then that devaluation also includes your character dismissal, which is going to bring confusion and challenges. And then you're going to get ignored altogether, because once they start ignoring you or going to a silent treatment, it's easy to discard. And now you go to a discard. And when the narcissist discards you, they are thinking you are set up for a Hoover again. I hope that this really encourage you. Just remember the cycle. You can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, push the bell, and every time I do a video, you will be notified. So you enjoy your day, and remember, you are a champion. You don't only survive, you thrive. I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.